And just when you thought legacy media couldn't get worse, now this. There are so many reasons this is a bad idea. It's hard to even know where to begin. But let's start with where the Washington Post is beginning, which is the climate desk for some reason. Why? Of all places to beta test a new product where you're going to give some sources, which sources? We don't know. How are they vetting that? How are they deciding that? We don't know. Some sources, the option of annotating stories and weighing in on what they think it gets right or wrong, that you're going to test that out on climate, which has had, through its entire history, a huge problem with industry trying to shape stories, trying to undermine science, trying to inject false equivalents. We just stopped doing false equivalents on climate. Now here comes the Washington Post with a new way to do it. I think if they were starting it with any other desk, I would think, okay, they're really genuinely trying to figure something out here. Like they've said the goal is to keep people on their page. They want people discussing the stories from the paper on their site and not on Twitter or Blue Sky or wherever, Facebook, I guess. But the fact that they're starting with the climate desk just is such an immediate red flag to me. The potential bad way this could go that jumped to mind for me was, imagine a story where you have an industry spokesperson who's quoted, which is pretty common, someone from the API or an oil company or a pipeline company or whatever, and they've got like a whole PR team ready to jump on this, right? Ready to annotate their asses off. And then you've got a climate scientist who's in a lab at a university whose budget just got cut in half, or maybe whose budget just entirely disappeared. They don't have time to deal with this. They're not going to be jumping in there. And then who's fact checking any of this? In the story that the New York Times ran about it, which, side note, LOL, New York Times, it's not like you're doing great either. In that story, the final kicker was, from someone at the Poynter Institute saying, well, the success of this will really depend on how well they fact check and moderate. But I immediately, if someone from the API or someone from Exxon or someone from Heartland Institute or someone from any of these right-wing organizations, if they try to annotate something and it gets fact-checked, that they're immediately going to go, oh, censorship. Obviously, we need to try lots of things to figure out a business model for journalism, right? This ain't it.